Like many young bucks trying to build some muscle and strength before the age of the internet, one of my key influences back in the day was going down to the library and checking out Arnold Schwarzenegger's Encyclopedia of Modern Bodybuilding. One of the key takeaways that I always applied from that was when Arnold talked about how when doing bicep curls, you want to put rotation into it because the biceps not only flex the elbow, but rotate and supinate the arm at the same time. But as my own education and understanding of how the muscles are constructed around the body, I started to notice there was a common thread. It didn't really matter if it was biceps or triceps or lats or chest or whatever. Almost every muscle has some degree of rotational function for the limbs in the body, which begs the question, why don't we add some degree of rotation to everything that we do? And I noticed looking back too, with all the different training modalities that I used to train, from machines and barbells, kettlebells and stuff, I always felt like I got much more of a satisfying workout and worked the muscle harder with anything that allowed rotation. Gymnastics rings, dumbbells, kettlebells, and things that kind of inhibited rotation like barbells or static machines just always seemed to be so much harder on the joints and just not as effective at working the muscle. And I believe that aspect of including some degree of rotation is probably the reason why. So I'm making this video not to teach people about rotation, because I think we all know about it, but instead to bring it into more of a forefront of not as a niche little technical variation or a different way to do an exercise like rows and stuff, but to instead bring our attention to the fact that we probably should have some degree of rotation with almost any exercise we use, especially for the upper body, for the simple reason that it probably makes it easier on the joints and works the muscles more effectively. And even in situations where we may not have the ability to get a full rotation in the arm, like if we're on the floor or we are dealing with a barbell and stuff, we still have some degree of rotation in the arm, or as I've often called it, torquing. And employing just even a few degrees of that rotation when we're doing pushing and pulling exercises especially can make a big difference in the stability of the joints, the consistency of your technique, and just making the whole exercise feel a lot easier on the body because you're working with the body rather than against it. And of course, every technique's going to be a little bit different as far as how we rotate and how much we can rotate and stuff. But in general, I found that when we are doing pushing and pulling exercises, that as our arms extend away from our torso, we have more of a pronation or inward rotation. And as we pull or we move our hands closer to our torso, we have external rotation or supination. Even if it's just a few degrees of rotation can make all the difference in the world. And I highly encourage you to seek out these opportunities and employ it as much as possible. So I posted more videos here if you want to learn more, but something to be mindful of in your next workout. Like the video if you like it, comments and questions down below. Thank you very much for watching. Be fit and live free.